Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan, and today I'm going to be doing my best NHL mascot tier list. Now, NHL mascots can either be the best thing about a team or the worst thing about a team. There's a lot of interesting designs right now in the NHL, but who do I see as the best mascots in the league and the worst mascots in the league? And where do I rank every single NHL mascot in my tier rankings? Watch till the end to find out. Now, while mascots aren't the most important thing to talk about in the NHL, man, are they fun to discuss, and tier lists were basically made to rank NHL mascots. Now, you'll see the 5 tiers that I have for today's tier list, starting at the Nightmare Fuel, a lower tier, the worst tier, working our way up to average, good, elite, and then generational at the top. The generational being the best, Nightmare Fuel being the worst. Now, here are the 30 mascot contestants throughout the NHL. The New York Rangers being the only team that doesn't have a mascot, unfortunately. You'll also see a couple of pictures here that are not the greatest. There's not a lot of great pictures going around with mascots, so I apologize for that. But these are the mascots that will rank for today's video. These are the current ones, and these are the ones we'll rank. Now, starting us out in the Nightmare Fuel tier, I'm going to start out with Sparta Cat of the Ottawa Senators. Now, this guy was made back in 1992, and it kind of makes sense why, because this has a lion of nightmares going to it. It's a lion, it's a Sparta Cat, it's kind of in the middle. I don't know really what it is exactly, but I think it tries to be something. I think they're going for something scary. I don't know what they're going for, honestly. It's just not the greatest mascot. You don't got a lot to it. Honestly, the hair just kind of, it just looks off to me. And the Ottawa Senators having a Sparta Cat as their mascot, I think there was some wasted potential there. Now, for the second mascot in the Nightmare Fuel tier, I got the Edmonton Oilers mascot, Hunter the Lynx. Now, he was made back in 2016, so he's a fairly recent NHL mascot, but that doesn't mean I really like him that much, because I just don't get why. I really don't get why. I mean, a lynx, I guess, in Canada, Alberta, Edmonton, but I don't know what he has exactly to do with the Edmonton Oilers, really. I mean, I get what they're going for, but even what they're going for, it's not that cool of a mascot. It kind of looks a little bit scary, kind of a little bit in uncanny valley. It just, to me, doesn't do too much, and for the Edmonton Oilers, like the Ottawa Senators, I think there's a lot more potential there. Now, going on to my third and final mascot in the Nightmare Fuel tier, I have Harvey the Hound of the Calgary Flames. Now, I have never liked Harvey the Hound. Ever since I even started liking Calgary and watching the NHL, I always just kind of was weirded out by him. Now, if you like him, that's totally fine, but there are a few things that put me off. Firstly, the eyes, which I have never liked whatsoever. It's like they're staring into my soul, they're that bad. And also you got the tongue, which I never, ever liked. Now, I like the Pokemon Lick-a-Tongue, but that's a little much. Now, starting us off at the average tier of NHL mascots, now going to Columbus Blue Jackets and Stinger. Now, I will say that Stinger is an amazing name. It's so punny, it's so amazing, and I do like that part. And I like his design quite a bit too. I think the head it definitely is unique, and it's not really seen before in the NHL. And again, my main problem is the problem that pretty much everybody else has, is that what does it have to do with the Columbus Blue Jackets? I mean, the Boomer one, the cannon that they had a few years back, was way better. Sure, it was hilarious, but it was way better. Now, advancing on to my second mascot in the average tier, I'm going to go to the Winnipeg Jets and Mickey Moose. Now, he to me is one of the more forgettable ones of the NHL. He's the mascot of their AHL team, the Manitoba Moose, so it also makes sense there. He's also in the logo, so I guess it kind of translates there too. When it comes to him, he's kind of just boring in my opinion. Yes, he is a moose, and I won't deny that. It's not false advertising, but there isn't too much more of that. He's just a big moose, which I guess for Winnipeg, it works, but it's going to be in the average tier. Sorry. Moving on to my third mascot in the average tier, I have the Chicago Blackhawks mascot, Tommy Hawk. Now, the only reason I like this mascot even remotely is because at one United Center game, our Blackhawks game last year, he ended up beating up a fan, which was one of the best videos we saw last year. Now, that's the only reason why I kind of remember him, because for a Blackhawks team that's been so good for a long time, I don't really know Tommy Hawk that much, and I don't really pay attention to him too much, because he doesn't really do too much. Yes, he is a Tommy Hawk, and it works, it's fine, but it's nothing more than average. Moving on to my fourth mascot in the average tier, now going to Bernie, the St. Bernard of the Colorado Avalanche. Now, Having a dog as your mascot gives you good brownie points in my end. Dogs are better than cats, do not at me. But again, I like that part. Now, when it comes to Bernie, it's not my favorite dog though, so it kind of puts it down a little bit. So it's in this middle area where I like it, I love it, but at the same time, I don't like it. So it's going to be in the average tier as just the middle. Going on to my 5th mascot in the average tier. Now to the Detroit Red Wings and Al the Octopus. Now, Al was one of the more hard mascots to pick because there was reasons why I could put him in Elite, reasons why I could put him in Nightmare Fuel, but he'll be in the middle as the average one. Now, he was close to good, I will say, but still an average. Now, the main reasons he's stuck in average is because he's kind of just floating in the air. He can't really interact with anybody, none of the kids, anything. But there's also a reason why he's kind of cool, because he's always a floating octopus, which you've never seen in the NHL. I don't know why you expect to see that, but either way, he's pretty good. Now going to my 6th mascot in the average tier, now going to Stanley C. Panther of the Florida Panthers. Now, Stanley C. Panther, I like the name. You got Stanley in there, which I think works, even though the Florida Panthers have not won a Stanley Cup. So, I mean, it works, it doesn't work at the same time. Either way, I think it's, again, pretty much the epitome of an average mascot. The face is kind of cut off on the photo. I apologize for that. But he's pretty much just a Panther. You're not missing too much. He's kind of just the name of the team, which it works, I guess, but this is not going to do too much for me. Now going on to the Stanley Cup champions, the St. Louis Blues, and their mascot, Louie. Now, Louie, again, I don't have any complaints there, really. He's blue, he's a bear, he's fluffy, he's good for the kids, and that's what he needs to be, really. But he's nothing too exponential. He's nothing too spectacular. He's kind of an average mascot that does his job, which I can respect, but it's not going to get you too high in the tier list. I'm going on to my 8th mascot in the average tier. Now going to the Arizona Coyotes mascot, Howler the Coyote. Now, Howler the Coyote, yes, is a coyote, and he's nothing too much more than that, but I think he's just a little bit more cooler than, let's say, a Florida Panther or something. Just to the design, it's more kiddish, it's more cartoonish, but that's not really a problem in my books. He's still an average mascot, doesn't do anything too crazy, but he's just a little bit more awesome compared to some of the other average mascots. Now going on to our final mascot in the average tier, going to the Buffalo Sabres and Sabretooth. Now I will say, disclaimer here, Sabretooth is an amazing name and I do like that. But his design is kinda to be desired, I would say. There's something there that I think could have been done differently. Now, Sabretooth Tigers are awesome. You got Diego from Ice Age, that's all you need to go off of. But this is just a little bit too yellow. Again, a lot of cartoony here, which is fine, but it's not going to be too much special. And to be higher in the tier list, you kind of have to be a little bit special, which for Sabretooth, even though it has a great name, to me is just not the case. Now, starting us off today in the good tier of NHL mascots, and no better mascot to start us off in the good tier than SJ Sharkey. Now, Sharkey was one of the most close ones to the elite tier. Leaving off the elite tier was just saddening to me, but he's still a great mascot in my opinion and has been for the San Jose Sharks for a while. Now, San Jose Sharky, he's a freaking shark. There's nothing else that I have to say. Just give him some medals, give him some awards, because at that point, he deserves it. Going on to my second mascot in the good tier, now to the Vancouver Canucks and Finn. Now, Finn is one of the best names of any mascot, I gotta say. I love that name, and it works perfectly. Being an orca, having that mascot, while the logo as an orca is not my favorite by any means, having that mascot I think works well. Now, the teeth is something that I kind of nag on a little bit because I think it's a little bit scary, but still, even then, he's a solid mascot, and honestly, I probably couldn't do any better than that. Going on to my third mascot in the good tier, and now going again to one of the ones that just missed the elite tier, that being Iceberg of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, Iceberg just has a classic design. One of the more recognizable mascots in the NHL. He just has an instant look that, hey, he's a penguin, and he does mean business. Now, again, he kind of is more cartoony, but I think it works for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Their logo is already kind of fierce, I would say, but having that guy that's fluffy, also with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, I think it just works for the organization, and obviously has worked for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, once again, to mascots that just missed the elite tier, going to Slapshot and the Washington Capitals. Now, Slapshot, throughout my time watching the NHL, has been one of my favorite mascots for a long time. He's just a big, bald eagle, which is exactly what the Washington Capitals needed. And he's just perfect. He's awesome, he's cool, he's not too scary too, not too intimidating, but also freaking awesome. And raising the cup too, ain't bad at all. Going on to my 5th mascot in the good tier, having one of my soft spot mascots, that being Carlton the Bear of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now you might say, he could be boring, or he's not good enough, or he's a Toronto Maple Leafs mascot, which that third one is correct, but the rest are not. You see, Carlton the Bear is a type of mascot you want to hug 2,000 times, if not more. You know, make that 3,000 times. I would like to hug Carlton the Bear 3,000 times. And again, that's all you need. He's a freaking polar bear. It works. Don't at me. Going on to my 6th mascot in the good tier, going to my 3rd favorite team, the Vegas Golden Knights, and Chance. Now, Chance has been up and down this tier list for a long time. When he was unveiled, I used to absolutely hate the design. But this past year, I think it's worked for the Vegas Golden Knights, and I think it's a decent mascot, a good mascot even. Now, he's in the lower tier of good mascots, but to me, still pretty good. Going on to my 7th mascot in the good tier, now the New York Islanders mascot, Sparky the Dragon. Now, Sparky in this picture is a little bit different than now. A few years back, he was black. Now he's blue and orange. So it has changed quite a bit, but it hasn't changed my opinion. Still one of the better mascots in the NHL. He's a freaking dragon. And the New York Islanders, I don't know why they have a dragon as their logo, but I'm not complaining. It's a freaking dragon. It's awesome. Now for my 8th mascot in the good tier, now going to the Minnesota Wild and Nordy. Now I have no idea what kind of name Nordy is, but I still like his design. He's got some red eyes, he got the black eyebrows. He's kind of just a wild beast, which makes sense for the Minnesota Wild. He's kind of a happy guy, he has that smile on, which I think works. Again, for the Minnesota Wild, they don't have a lot of great things in their franchise right now, but Nordy is pretty good. At least they have that. Going on to my 9th mascot in the good tier, now going to the Tampa Bay Lightning's mascot, Thunderbug. Now, Thunderbug was one of the guys that I wished I had an elite tier because he's just so friggin' awesome. I don't care if there are no Thunderbug haters out there. He is my boy, okay? He's not in the elite tier, he's not in the generational tier, but he's still my boy, okay? He has a great design, you got the yellow, you got all of that. Honestly, I don't want to explain him because he's hard to explain. He's just awesome. And my opinion is factually correct. 100%. Going on to the 10th and final mascot in the good tier, going to Blaze the Bruin of the Boston Bruins. Now, Blaze is a huge bear, is a beefy guy, big, tall, that's all you need to know. For the Boston Bruins, it makes a lot of sense. Now, it's good to note that he does not hibernate, unlike all of other bears in existence. I don't know how he gets to sleep, but I guess it works for him. Now, starting us today with the elite tier, now going to the Nashville Predators and Nash. Now, Nash, of course, starting us out in the elite tier, it's a bad picture, I know, but Nash just has an awesome design. Of course, he's a Nashville Predator, it makes sense, he just has a crazy design. He's big, he's also somewhat cute at the same time, does some crazy stunts as well. What's not to love? And during that cup run, he was pretty amazing too. Going on to my 2nd mascot in the elite tier, for one of the most consistent mascots in NHL history, NJ Devil of the NJ Devils. Now, NJ Devil is one of the better and more elite mascots in the NHL, just being so consistently amazing for a long time, being funny, doing crazy stuff, and just having a brilliant mustache, which I never asked for, but I'm glad it exists. Now for my 3rd elite mascot in the NHL, now going to a mascot that's risen up in my rankings this past year, that being Stormy of the Bunch of Jerks. Now, Stormy isn't a totally crazy unique mascot. He's a pig, and he does his job. He's Stormy, but it's an awesome name. Stormy is fantastic, and during the storm surges, he was a big part of a lot of those ones. Usually being a part of the storm surges, he played a big part in that. So of course, clapping the hands, doing all of it, he's just been a big reason why the Carolina Hurricanes are a lot of fun right now. Going on to my 4th mascot in the elite tier, and deservedly so, one of the most elite mascots in the NHL, that being Wild Wing of the Anaheim Ducks. Of course, he's a big Anaheim Duck, a big mighty duck. He fits the bill. No pun intended. I'm sorry about that. But honestly, he's just an awesome mascot. Has an awesome design. The beak, everything, it just works. And for the Anaheim Ducks, in my opinion, one of the more boring teams in the NHL, Wild Wing is freaking awesome. And it definitely works for the Mighty Ducks aesthetic. Now moving on to my fifth and final elite mascot in the NHL, in the elite tier, going to the LA Kings and Bailey. Now Bailey has been one of my favorite mascots for a long time, so I have bias there, but I think he's just fantastic. Has one of the best Twitter accounts, had the best Twitter account for a mascot until Gritty came around, so obviously there's some conflict there. But Bailey, again, one of the more funny mascots in the NHL. His appearance isn't totally crazy or anything too unique. It's a lion, which makes sense for the LA Kings, but it has a lot more detail, has a lot more emphasis on the face, which I think for the LA Kings and their whole feel definitely works a lot. Getting into the elite of NHL mascots, now into the generational tier mascots, and no better mascot to start us off in generational than Gritty. In my opinion, the best mascot right now in the NHL, but when he was unveiled, it was a much different story for me. Back when he was unveiled, I think in that first day, it was unanimous. Everybody hated him, including me. He was a wacky, scary thing. And nobody really known what it really was. He was unveiled and it was kinda weird. But as Gritty started to become the Gritty we know and love, everybody started loving him, and including me. It wasn't just everybody starts loving him, so I love him, but it kind of was a journey for me to really love Gritty and make him as my best NHL mascot. He's just such a character, is on the late night show. He's done more for the NHL exposure-wise for the Philadelphia Flyers than the NHL has. He's just a famous celebrity at this point, and for the NHL, definitely their most well-known mascot. Okay, before you judge this one, okay? Before you judge my second generational mascot, I just want to say I'm a Dallas Stars fan, and this is my totally 100% biased pick for the day, okay? That's it. That's my biased pick for today. For my second generational mascot, I have Victory Green. And I don't care. I don't care if you say it's a Philly Fanatic ripoff, because guess what? That's the best MLB mascot. So if you're ripping off the best, you are the best. Now, I'm not going to say that Victory Green is the best mascot, because obviously Gritty is there. But he's got that big stomach. He likes to hump people too, which is a great plus, not gonna lie. I don't care if he's a big fluff ball, because he's my fluff ball, okay? He's my boy. Don't you dare diss my boy, or else I'll come after you. Not really, but you get my gist. And going on to my third mascot in the generational tier, the last mascot I'll mention for today's video, sadly, going to Youppi of the Montreal Canadiens. Now, starting back with the Expos, way back then, once they moved to Washington in the MLB, he went to the Montreal Canadiens as their sole mascot, and he just works for the Montreal Canadiens. There's no better mascot for the Canadiens than a guy like Youppi that looks like a proud Canadian. With a giant beard, with all the entertainment he brings, he's just a cornerstone, borderline, amazing mascot, and to me, one of the best in the NHL. And here you have it, the complete mascot tier list, the official mascot tier list, 100% factual, 100% logic, from Nightmare Fuel all the way to generational. This is my official 2019 tier list, from best to worst. But of course, with this video, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down in those comments down below. So let me know, what do you think about my NHL mascot tier list? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Let me know. And of course, the question on to you, who do you think are the best mascots in the NHL and the worst mascots in the NHL? But if you guys want some more Grav videos just like this one, you should click on this card right here to watch my best NHL left winger tier list. It's completely 100% factual and 100% logic. Click on it or else. But that'll be it for today, guys. If you guys enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on my tier list, what you agree and disagree with, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.